Facebook Live broadcast. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. And this is the A to Z of EFT. And the first letter of the alphabet is the letter A. And today I'm going to be talking to you about aspects. Now, aspects is something that can come up quite a bit in EFT. And it's more so when you have something that has more than one part to it. So something like fear of flying or a fear of spiders or something like that. Now, the way aspects can be described is many different ways with Gary Craig and other people that have had tree analogies or table analogies. But the way that I like to describe it is simply by using an orange. And I actually call it the orange effect. So with an aspect, it is a part of a whole. So when you have something like a fear of flying, for example, and you're just tapping for the fear of flying, over time, yes, you will have some relief from that, but it will not take away the whole fear of flying. And that's where sometimes people can get confused with EFT working or not working, because they believe they're tapping for the whole thing, when what they're really tapping for is the outside of the orange. And the outside of the orange is the generality of the fear of flying. So with aspects, what you need to do is to break it down, is to open up that orange and find out what actually makes up the fear of flying. So excuse me here, I've got an orange that I peeled earlier, as you do. And so when you open up the orange, you have something like takeoff, landing. Each segment is a different aspect. So the takeoff, the landing, the turbulence. Another segment could be the people that you're sitting next to. Unfortunately, in today's fear-based society, we're led to think that certain people can be a threat. I personally don't believe that, but that's just how society can often portray it. So with aspects, you need to break open the orange, break open the fear, and look at each segment of the orange that makes up that aspect. So again, for something like fear of flying, just think about what that might mean for you. So you will have maybe booking the flight in the first place, the anticipation of going on that flight. Maybe it's a short flight, maybe it's a long flight, and one of those could bother you more than the other. And again, each one of those is a segment. So you take each segment and tap on that separately, rate it with your rating of how you feel about it, or from 0 to 10, 10 being very high, 0 being very low, and bring each one of those segments down. But the thing is that people often say, now, do I need to work on every single segment of that orange? And the answer to that is no. Again, if you actually take the real orange that I've got here that I prepared earlier, if you take the orange and take out a lot of the segments, the whole orange will actually collapse. And it's the same thing with EFT tapping. You do not need to tap on each and every segment. But if you're going to do this for yourself and you have little to no experience with EFT, keep it light and fluffy. Keep it to maybe just a fear of spiders or phobias or something like that, and just take each segment of the orange, write everything down, like fear of flying, turbulence, takeoff, landing, again, packing, the general feeling of being on a plane, being up high, being closed in, being claustrophobic. That was actually one of my things. I used to have a dreadful fear of flying because it was very claustrophobic. And I even got off a flight before it took off, I will add, not with a parachute. I actually got off a flight that was going just a very short distance because I had such an horrendous fear of flying. But fortunately, EFT has helped me with that, and that is no longer the case. So write down each and every segment of your orange and rate each and every segment. And then it's up to you if you want to start with the lowest segment rating. So if you have something like it doesn't bother you being in enclosed spaces, and on a scale of 0 to 10 it's about a 3, then maybe just start with that one and just see how you go and bring that down a little bit with EFT tapping. And just work on them one by one, and then go through and re-rate each one as you're working with them and see how you feel about that. So generally that's what aspects are. It's the different parts that make up the issue, and it often can be something like fears or phobias. So I hope that's been of help to you, and I hope you can understand what I term as the orange effect. If you're tapping globally for the fear of spiders or the fear of flying, then that's on the outside of the orange. If you can imagine opening it up and each segment representing a different part of that fear or phobia, and work on each one of those separately. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Thank you.